Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Lionel here, and I have another review for you. And this one is going to come from the House of Estee Lauder, and it is called Beyond Paradise. Now, Beyond Paradise. Let's talk about this one real quick. Um, it's sort of a fruity, aquatic, but in a very unique way. I mean, I don't. The fruit isn't something you would be used to. I mean, I'm telling you now, like it's plum wood, but it really doesn't come off as other plum fragrances that I've smelled. It's funny, it really shares the jasmine. That's with Anucci, which I reviewed earlier today. And, so it's sort of a white floral citrus. It's labeled a woody aromatic here. It was created in 2004. And, what's unique is the perfume made for this is very, very popular if you're a Killian fan, Khalees Becker. So if you know her, she's created quite a bit. Most of the Beyond Loves, and Sweet Redemptions, I think she's probably the nose behind most of Killian's fragrance. And I think Estee Lauder and by Killian sort of has a relationship. If they make by Estee Lauder may be the distributor for by Killian, which sort of shows you why she made this one and that one. And I tell you what, outside of somehow in a lot of the Killian fragrances, it has this DNA in it that's weaved through all of them, sort of I don't know how to, when I first initially thought, my man Mel said it was like a hairspray type, but they all share this common note that I don't know what it is in there, and it's not a note that they all share, but it's to your nose, it's a note that all of them share if you've smelled the Killian line. And this one doesn't have that, but it does have some of the DNA of some of the Killian fragrances. So let's talk about the notes real quick. In the top, you have orange blossom, you have gardenia. No, is that gardenia? Actually, it's hyacinth. So you have hyacinth, orange blossom, lemon, bergamot, and grapefruit. I think that's grapefruit. Yep. And in the heart, you have orchid, you have gardenia, you have jasmine, and you have honeysuckle. And in the base, you have hibiscus, you have the plum wood, and you have amber. So, based off those notes, if you were to just strip away man, you would think, I mean, just if I read you those notes off the top of my head, you would probably think that that is a female fragrance. And I would tell you now that I think, it does have a feminine quality to it. I mean, I would not consider this a masculine fragrance by any means. I mean, now that I even smell it, I mean, it shares and man, it shares in the line of the Killian. I mean, I would honestly think like Killian's recent releases, the Bamboo Harmony and those, man, this fragrance would actually fit right in that framework of thread. I mean, if Killian would have just took this and rebottled it, I really think that it would have. I mean, it would have garnered some love, and the niche heads that love spending $400 on a bottle would have really reached for this one. Probably would have got a little more love. But it opens with this dense fruity, this almost succulent type of fruitiness. Accord is just dense, and it's dense, and it's sweet, and it's man, I don't know how to. I mean, it's almost juicy to your mouth when you smell this. I mean, it almost makes my mouth water how juicy and sweet it is as a fragrance. I mean, I don't really get any real aquatic type marine notes or anything. None of that stuff is really in there. I mean, it's actually that plum wood is sort of a plumish, sort of something in the line of like Mediterranean or something from Hermes. So it falls sort of in that line in between like an Hermes, Mediterranean, not as earthy, or something along the line of Killian's recent releases with the Bamboo Harmony, the Asian tail line. The Asian tail line is what it is. So I mean, I get that. that opening is just wonderful. Like I tell you what, one of the most mouth-watering openings from a fruity, fresh fragrance is this one. I mean, it just opens with a mouth-watering, fruity accord. And I think some of the white florals come along. I mean, it's not tart at all, so the citruses are there, but they don't add any type of sourness or tartness, which probably actually would have made this fragrance a little bit more unique. I do get some woody undertones, but they're just not there. I mean, it's just sort of. I mean, I'm surprised that there's no cedar or anything in this fragrance, just because. I mean, it sort of has that component there, sort of a woody component there. But I do get a great deal of it's a jasmine in the line of Alien, sort of. It has that sort of jasmine accord to it. It's not as floral as what I got in the Nucci and some of the other stuff. So it has that accord, then that plum wood, and then I think some of something else that I think that may stick out is sort of the gardenia sort of note. So it sort of has that gardenia, plumish, sweet juiciness. And I tell you, for me, it works. Now, let's talk about compliments. I've not got a compliment on this fragrance. But again, just because I really haven't worn it anywhere, I don't want to ding it for that one. My wife said it smelled good, but I kind of had to, I had to coerce her into something. I say, hey, smell this, and she usually gets offended. So I just asked her to smell it, and she thought it smelled good. Both of my boys like it a lot. They said it smells really good, like juice. My one son thinks it's like a popsicle. So it does have a really juicy, mouth-watering accord to it. Longevity, now, it sort of gets close to the skin after about 3 hours. That real bright, that real juicy, fruity, dense opening sort of dissipates within, I would honestly say, about an hour. But what happens is as this fragrance dries down, and I didn't realize I wore it to work a couple of times, and the last time my nose was working really, really good. I was really sensitive for some reason. And I kept saying, what is that smell? And I'm looking around, but it was me. It was coming, I sprayed, just a spray on my shirt, like kind of a mist to walk through. And I put on about 5 or 6 sprays maybe. And I don't really think you can overspray this like you can on like the Mediterranean Hermes. You can overspray that sucker. This one, I don't think so. I think because of it sort of clings in sort of quickly. So I don't really think you'll have a problem there. But overall, I got really good. A lot of people complain, but I got a good 6 hours to 8 hours, man. I'm being honest, of just getting whiffs of it, and it was probably off my clothes more than my skin, because as I smelt my skin, it dries down to sort of a sweet, woody, amberish type of fragrance, with that plum wood, just sort of giving it just a tinge of fruitiness. Overall, now here's the problem. Much like a Nucci, which I didn't talk about, I got a Nucci for about $25 shipped. I got this sucker here for $20 shipped. And if you went to online and really research it, you can probably get this 1.7 for around 15 to 18 bucks. The bottle is very heavy, dense. I don't know what that represents. I don't know. The bottle is unique, but just really doesn't say anything to me. It doesn't really lend to anything. That's the Estee Lauder is written on there. The cap is the worst cap I've ever seen in my life on a bottle, I think. Very generic, very basic cap, very plastic, cheap. I don't know. But it functions. It's a functioning cap. I don't really care about that stuff much anyway. The color of the bottle is very nice. And I really think if you look there, I don't know if you can see it. It sort of kind of has that purple, blue. I see a lot of paint jobs like that purple, blue, kind of a blend, greenish color. And that fragrance really matches the bottle. So I will tell you this. From a color schematics perspective, it really matches it. Overall, longevity. Now, I'll give it about, because of the projection, I'll give it probably about a 3.5 on that. Uniqueness of the fragrance itself. I just don't really know a lot of masculine fragrances that smell like this. So I would probably give it about a 4.5 from that perspective. Overall smell, I'll probably give it a 4 out of 5. It smells really, really, it smells darn good. I'm just being honest with you. It just smells good. Nothing that just pops out, but when you smell it, you're just like, man, it smells good. I think, some people may have problems with sort of the, it sort of has a feminine aspect. So if you don't like things like, again, like, dangerous liaisons, it's not as sexy as that one. But if you don't like some of those Killian creations that are called unisex, this was actually should have been a unisex fragrance from all perspectives. So overall, I mean, I'll probably give this one. I got it for $20. For that, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. If I was to pay retail for this, I'll probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. Overall, quality fragrance. I think again, the perfume behind this is successful, very, very good. She's done a great job on a whole bunch of things, especially the Killian line. So you need to get your nose on this. And I remember Coach Rob talking about that one time about, sort of searching out some things like from Maurice Rossell and some of these high-end fragrances, seeing who the perfume is behind it. The perfume is Clarice on this one. And I give her high marks for this creation. Is very, very impressed by Estee Lauder in this release. So that's it for me. Beyond Paradise. Peace.